Right then, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at loan options because, let's be honest, we haven't got a pot to piss in, and a loan option has been increasingly something United have turned to in recent years, and I'm absolutely certain it's what we're going to turn to this month to bring somebody in. And we're going to be looking at strikers in particular. Now, Ten Hag hasn't ruled out the idea of turning to loan signings this window as he assesses the very, very large gaps in our squad and the financial restrictions that are imposed upon us. And United are without 13 senior players, or were without 13 senior players during our cup win over Wigan in the FA Cup. And we are currently considering potential transfer options to try and focus on just getting something done for the remainder of the 23-24 season. Now, the January transfer window is in full swing, and we've taken a look at some of the recent links to United, highlighted some players that we think United should be looking at to get on loan for the remainder of the campaign. First one is Hugo Ekitiké, which is from PSG, 21 years of age, and PSG are not happy with Ekitéké's refusal to leave the club during the last summer window, where there was some talk that he was either going to Frankfurt or potentially even to the Premier League, and he just went, nah. So straight off the bat, you're like, right, so you're telling me there's a kid here with potentially a bit of a problem? Yeah. However, he's all right. Unfortunately, he's only played 9 minutes since then. If it wasn't crystal clear then, it is now. There is no future for Ekitiké at PSG. Mawani and Ramos are firmly ahead of him in the pecking order, but he's still just 21. He is brimming with potential. He's got a bit of an effortless run to him. He's quick, he's powerful, he's dribbling. He's probably his main asset, I would say, as a player. He's got a great first touch, real good awareness of where the defenders are around him, and he's pretty good at evading pressure through that skillful sort of dribbling. He drives at defenders. He is definitely direct and committed, and he's got pretty decent finishing and technical ability as well. He's still a promising player. It's just, PSG aren't having him for whatever reason, and he's had a consistent impact when he's had the confidence and opportunity. As he develops further, decision-making and execution should improve, and I think he will develop into a strong top-flight player somewhere. Is he going to come in and totally transform our season? No. But he might just be able to give us a bit of an impact where we need one. And he's not going to come in and upset the apple cart in terms of him thinking he's now the #1 striker at the club, which is very definitely still going to be Rasmus Højlund. Second on the list then is a player from Sevilla, star of the World Cup for Morocco, and that is Youssef En-Nesyri. And a transfer might even be possible for this guy. But he had 18 goals last season. He's got 9 in 25 this season. But Sevilla are a team that supposedly we've got a good relationship with, but they are in need of cash. So this is something that where United might be able to benefit on somebody else's misfortune for once. He's got a very lean frame. You could be forgiven for assuming he's nothing like a target man, but he is. He's one of the best headers of the ball in Europe. He's absolutely deadly in the air. He's a powerful, strong runner. He's got a thunderous left foot. He plays with an aggressive edge and presses well. He's an absolute workhorse. I could see this guy being the sort of like last 15, 20, 25 minutes off the bench, having that sort of Tevez-style Duracell bunny impact on the tempo of the game. And that's not a bad thing to have off the bench. Another forward that could be both a short-term fix and a long-term alternative, a second striker, if you will, our backup striker. Sevilla need a cash, so a loan or a smaller transfer fee might be something that they're looking out for. Third on the list is certainly no new name to us. We've seen this one plenty of times before, and that is Mehdi Taremi. He is a great finisher. Certainly wouldn't be classed as a high-volume shot taker. He takes quality, measured and considered shots. He's a proper number 9, a proper box number 9 as well. He's got a penalty area presence about him, and he's an instinctive striker. He's got this sort of feels like he lives to score goals. Like, that's his whole thing. He wants to get on the end of things, and I don't know if we have that in the club at the moment. He's got the knack of being in the right place at the right time. He's all about the 18-yard box. That's it. He also links it really well. retains the ball to a really high level, drops in between the lines and helps you sustain possession. He's quite progressive with it too. He's a bit of a risk taker, which you want in your forwards. You don't want your forwards playing it safe. Works best with runners in front of him so he can scan the final third. It could be quite dynamic playing alongside Marcus Rashford, I think. And he works hard off the ball, very tenacious, and as a backup striker, he would be able to conserve a lot of energy, meaning the intensity should be even more if he was able to come off the bench or would feature in between certain games. He would probably set a real intensity. He's a very good counter presser. He's got a good understanding of the positions that are required, and he brings a calmness that probably doesn't exist in the forward line for United at the moment. Doesn't panic, brings the ball down tight when he's surrounded by players, and he can dribble out a trouble. Little bit of a 9-10 hybrid. All the abilities of a 9, but also got that subtleness and passing ability of a number 10. So bringing other players into play, and maybe even in playing alongside Højlund if United are chasing a game, would be quite interesting to see. And then Choupo-Moting. So people saw their ass with Choupo-Moting for 2 reasons. One, he used to play for Stoke, and 2, that you don't get good players out of Bayern Munich generally. And here's another player coming out of Bayern Munich late on in his career. Absolute shit show, surely. But he is 34. This is the downslope of his career. So you get the idea why people are mad. And while he doesn't fit the picture, or even fit the picture, or even fit the fixture, of like an up-and-coming young forward, United really could benefit from bringing him in because he is an experienced player who knows how to play a role. We did exactly that with Johnny Evans, and I think that's been an inspired signing, which feels like it was done by accident, because it probably was done by accident, but it still worked. And the absence of goals coming from our current number 9, Choupo-Moting could definitely help lead United's young attack and help boost Højlund's confidence. Again, he's not going to be the profile of a player. I think this is really important. You're probably also just not going to get the profile of player that could put genuine pressure on Højlund. But Choupo-Moting definitely coming in there on the swan song of his career, won't be first choice, won't be playing every week. A loan move for him could be quite beneficial, as it might be a player that United want to get in. I was going to say long-term, but even if you get him and signed him, he wouldn't be long-term. So it would be a short-term deal regardless. That could work out well for everybody. He's technically smooth. He's got a bit of savviness that could benefit us in the last few months. He's played in a variety of different clubs under different circumstances. A 6-month loan or even an 18-month stint at Manchester United could be really interesting for him to look at. And I want to talk to you about some of Choupo-Moting's stats, because I guess playing for Bayern Munich gives you the privilege of having slightly improved stats on most because of just how dominant they are in their league. But someone's still got to go and do it. And what's interesting about these is it's a lot of stuff that we're not doing. So in terms of his FBref stats, he's in the 85th percentile for non-penalty goals. Shots total is 3.49. That's something that Bayern Munich would help out with. Shot creating actions is quite high, 89% of that. His passes attempted, pass completion, progressive passes, successful take-ons, that's in the 94th percentile. And his tackles and interceptions are fairly high as well. All of those very high up in the greens, as his touches in the opposition penalty area. But again, that can be explained a little bit by him being just at Bayern Munich. You're going to get more penalty box touches than you would playing for Sheffield United. But either way, there's still some pretty good stats out there, and he's still doing it. I think he would be an interesting loan, and it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. I think there's probably something in this. I don't know exactly what, but I think there's something in that. But anyway, there's 4 options. Let me know which of those you would prefer, and if you think any of them are potentially realistic. See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.